Hi there, I'm Davey Shields. I work on a podcast called MenTalkHealth, which I make with my friends Damien and Eire. And we, very simply put, talk about our mental health in an everyday way and just normalize what we're going through. And we cover everything, and we have guests, and we have everything that kind of happens on the spectrum between, everyday just kind of stress to, some quite serious issues, such as suicide, etc. I should say, starting now, that this video here is going to be talking about suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. So if you think that could trigger anything, obviously just kind of keep that in mind. And don't forget, if you need any help or anything, do reach out, despite some of the things that I want to talk about today. This is the first vlog that I've ever done on my own. I've done a few interviews, but I've never actually sat down here and decided to kind of speak one-on-one. I'm all about talking. I'm all about talking about myself, but I like to do it with a live audience. But tonight, because I think it is, it's just past midnight. Tonight is very different. We recorded one of our episodes today of MenTalkHealth, and it was absolutely brilliant, as always. It's a great show, check it out. And we had a great time. We were talking about toxic masculinity and all that, and just trying to, as we always do, try and bring as much fun to the thing as we could. One of the things we always do in the show is we ask each other how our mental health is. We check in and we mean it. When people say, "How are you?" nobody actually answers it properly. So what we do is we ask each other how our mental health is. It's something we always do, and I often manage to go on an amazing tangent talking about myself and whatever wonderful kind of mental health shenanigans I've gotten into that week. This week I had to pass. We discussed beforehand, but I decided that it wouldn't be good for me to talk about it today. And now I'm sitting here, and I was trying to sleep earlier on, and I'm feeling not great about that because I've been seeing some stuff on Twitter from other people, and it's making me want to kind of share something a bit more. So I have dealt with depression and anxiety for many, many years. I'm on meds. The meds change sometimes. I've tried not being on meds. I've tried CBT. I've done all these different things. And each time it's been a waiting list and then a hope and your GP asking you what you think you should be taking. And it's not always worked. Especially at the moment. About a year and a half ago, I thought I was going to kill myself. I had my plan, it was all ready to go, and amazingly, thankfully, my housemate was actually in when he should have been out, so that scuppered my plan, and the next day I realised I needed to reach out, and I did. And do you know what? You can't fully fault the NHS for all the great stuff they're doing with mental health at the moment. But as I'm going to discuss, there's just no resources. So this Tuesday I woke up and I knew something was really wrong. I made an emergency appointment with a GP. I knew I had to reach out. I didn't want to reach out to my friends, despite always talking about why you should, because I didn't want to be a burden. And I went to the GP and I was in such a state. I was shaking and I was crying, and he could not have been nicer, but he couldn't really help. He wanted me to phone the emergency kind of, rapid response line, which is a number I've carried around on a card in my wallet for the last year. And have never had the balls to call, because I always thought if I'm calling them, then this is the absolute worst. But as I was chatting to him, and he's like, look, give them a call. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Come and see me tomorrow at this time. That's actually my lunch break. So we can, if you don't mind me eating my sandwich, I will sit with you and we'll talk, and you don't have to worry about this 9-minute thing. I mean, that was really great of him. That was really kind of him to offer. But what I need you to do is I need you to go and phone them and see what they say. I left the surgery really aimless. I was walking around for ages, trying to build up the courage to phone. And I did, and found out that there was nobody there to take my call. There was a message saying, unfortunately, nobody can take a call at the moment, and so please go to A&E. That was the point where I lost it completely. It's like reaching out and finding out that actually there's nobody there that you needed, and you thought it would always be there. This was the last resort that I'd been too scared to take, and I took it, and there was no one there. And at A&E, I was treated brilliantly again. Saw the trauma nurse, absolutely brilliant. Checked everything out, explained what's going to happen. Said it'll be a little wait for the doctor. Do I want to wait outside because it's too busy in here? You're clearly panicking, blah, blah, blah. Great, that all worked. And again, I had my friends with me. I then saw the nicest doctor who literally took me aside and he chatted to me for like 20 minutes about everything and just the whole situation. But there was nothing he could actually do, other than just talk to me, which was great, but he couldn't do anything else. But he said, you can speak to the mental health liaison. So I waited around for a few hours and met another fantastic lady who was, doing her job and trying to do what she could. And she started talking over all my diagnosis and my medication and all that. And her answer was, okay, what we need to do is we need to get your diagnosis sorted. You need to get your drugs sorted. That would be 8 weeks. Now, I have been dealing with my local wellbeing service who have been doing a course with me called Steps, which is aimed at people who suffer from emotional intensity, people who have or have signs of borderline personality disorder. Now, in my 8 or 9 years since my diagnosis of depression, anxiety, I have never been able to see a psychiatrist. I have seen great mental health nurses who have gone and spoken to someone, but I've never had anyone actually see me directly and do this diagnosis. I think a couple of weeks into the Steps course, I kind of put my hand up and I asked, okay, why do we keep mentioning this emotional intensity? Do we all have that? Is that what's going on? And they were like, oh, no. Some people in this room might. Most people here will probably have had signs but not had it diagnosed. And I was kind of really taken aback by this because I was like, okay, so I'm getting treatment for this diagnosis, but I don't really know what it is. But, the way I can see it, it means I have a lot of feelings, which, to be honest, has always described me. So it sounded okay. I then learned that emotional intensity borderline personality disorder, BPD, it can be a really big deal. It involves a lot of self-awareness, a lot of looking after yourself. It has a very different kind of idea about what to do with medications and stuff. And so there was me in A&E saying, I'm here because I'm scared, I'm going to hurt myself. And them saying, how can we treat you? Do you want to change your drugs? Well, I don't know what drugs I should be on. I've got drugs given to me I've got drugs that have been given to me by a GP who thinks I've got depression and anxiety, but nobody's ever fully, confirmed that. I'm doing therapy for a condition that is far more serious than anyone's ever told me, and nobody's prepared to diagnose me for that. And the only way to get that diagnosis and then get the appropriate drugs and the appropriate help is to wait 8 weeks. But at this point now, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't see how I'm going to get past the next week, let alone 8 weeks. The reason for the one message is I can't have an emergency referral. I can't see a psychiatrist because I haven't hurt myself, because I haven't tried to commit suicide, because I reached out before I did those things. And now I am stuck in this limbo of, fuck, am I, I'm scared about the highs and the lows and what I'm going to feel from day to day. Like, I should be sleeping right now, but I can't, because all I'm thinking about is, all right, I've had a good day. But also, I've broken down 3 times today. Like, I've cried 3 times today, which is fine. Guys could definitely cry. One of the things I feel encouraged. But I keep going from being elated to crying to scared to unsure. And it's like, okay, so I'm taking these meds that maybe make me worse. Like, my anxiety is through the roof and has been ever since I've been on these meds. But what if they're now the wrong... These are meds for a completely different condition than I might even have. But nobody's prepared to see me unless I wait 8 weeks. And I can't wait 8 weeks. I really can't. I'm getting worse. And now, for me, I have spent the last few years at my lowest point trying to find the justification to take that step, to do something final or damaging. But I've been saved by my wanting and my compassion to not upset the people around me. All I'm getting from the NHS is a reason to do it. Not to, hopefully, I guess, maybe, not to have it succeed, not to succeed in taking that step, but if hurting myself gets me help, then isn't that a reason to do it in that column? No, absolutely, I'm not encouraging. No, don't do that. But I understand my mind enough to know how damaging that message is to me. That all I want is some help, and I feel like there's no way I can get it. And there's somebody kind of going, whatever you do, don't hurt yourself, wink. I mean, it makes no sense. I didn't talk about this in the podcast today, mainly because, you know, I've been really low and I wasn't ready to. But I have spent today following amazing woman, Andrea Wade. She's got, she's on Twitter. Obviously, find her. She's amazing. She's a time to change champion, just like I am. She's done amazing stuff. She has just had to raise money to see a psychiatrist because the GPs are literally telling her unless she hurts herself, she can't see anyone. She knows that she's not safe to wait however long she'll have to wait. So, like her, I want to change this. Like, MenTalkHealth is this great platform. And, you know, we believe in so many things. We believe in people talking. We believe in encouraging men to talk. We believe that if more men talk about their mental health, it helps everyone. The way they treat people around them, the way they treat their wives, their girlfriends, their children, their boyfriends, their husbands, all of that. The more everyone talks, the better it is for everyone. But for me personally, right now, what I want to really change, I really want to make a change that people realize that we have to find a way to look at before rather than after. Before, not after. I want help before I hurt myself, not after. Andrea and all the people who are messaging her, like, if you see a Twitter feed, there's so many people in the same situation. They need help before, not after. And now, the people working on the NHS are heroes. It's not about knocking that. The problem is there is no resources there, that everything is about reacting to something that's already happened rather than working on prevention. We need to be working on prevention, because especially when you look at the number of suicide rates in men, they're not reaching out. Or maybe they are and they're being rejected because they haven't done anything bad yet, and that's why there's such a high suicide rate, and that scares me. I'm genuinely scared that I'm sitting here taking meds every day that I don't know if are helping me. I think I need to change them, but nobody wants to change them. Although, as I said, my GP asked me what I wanted to do, because my drama degree obviously helps with me knowing what to take for medicines. We need to change it. Right now, I want to be here. I want to get better. There will be many times tomorrow and the day after and the day after that I don't want to be here. But I'll stay, because I'm not going to hurt anyone else. I can't. But you know what? That reasons to column, reasons to do it. It's scary when the NHS is in that column, encouraging me. And maybe it looks like I'm not taking it seriously because of my tone, but this is me being serious. My two sides are, I wish I wasn't here, or I wish I could get help to not feel that way. There isn't a different side. That's my two. That's all I have. So I'm going to try and do some more work on this. I'm going to try and see what we can change. Now, I know it's all about money and it's all about funding and statistics and all that, and that's, above my capabilities entirely. But what I can do is hopefully get more and more people talking about this. Andrea, I'd love to kind of meet you, speak to you, see if we can do some stuff together, get more people talking about this, and just really, really explain the situation, because I really, really hope that I don't become a statistic for male suicide. And if I do, shame on you, government, for not being able to give me the thing, because do you know what? I did what you told me to do. I did what the NHS told me to do. I had to reach out and tell people that I was struggling, and I did, and all I got was I'm so sorry there's nobody to speak to you right now, on a 24-hour emergency line. And then I had to meet all these great people in the NHS who are literally in despair because they're having to talk to me and tell me there's nothing they can do. Anyway, so here's what I would like to do. If you want to get involved, that'd be fantastic. Let us know your stories. Obviously, we can't apply to anything, but you can get in touch with MenTalkHealth. Our website is www.mentalkhealth.uk. We're on Twitter at MenTalkHealthUK. Facebook, we have our own group as well. just tell us your stories. Keep telling stories, keep talking to people, because the more we talk about it, the more we can change. And all I can kind of say is, it's lame, it's twee, it's strange, but let's keep using the hashtag. Please go on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, blogs, and use the phrase before, not after. I want to be helped before, not after. Hashtag before, not after. So please get involved. Check out Andrea's work as well. And everyone else is kind of doing all this great stuff, because the more of us who kind of speak up and kind of say, do you know what? We're doing our part. We're listening to the GP. We're taking these numbers that you're telling us to call. We're reaching out at our worst moments for this help that you say is there, and it isn't. And the only message we're being told is, if you want that help, you have to prove that you need it by harming yourself, and that is just the most barbaric notion. Anyway, sorry, massively depressing, I know. Podcast, much funnier. Believe me, it's awesome. There's jokes, there's smut. You're good to go. But thank you so much for listening. I've now got to try and work out how to cut this down and get this online. But the important thing is, tomorrow I'm going to get up, and that's my job. I'm going to get up, and I'm going to have a day, and I'm going to work on this. And that's better than where I was a week ago, even without the help of doctors. Thanks.